Basement Bookers Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. This is the WrestleMania review, the latest WrestleMania review in the history of ever. Also, maybe what The Rock said on Pat McAfee Show. We'll do a Basement Bookers watch something, and we'll see how that goes. Before we get started and introduce everyone, a few points. Number one, for this review, it will be thumbs up or thumbs down, and then what you liked, what you didn't like. Doesn't affect if it was a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's it. You picked it up, you picked it up, you picked it down. That's down. That's it. Okay. Number two, let's get a few assumptions out of the way. We all know everybody worked really hard on everything from the top all the way to the bottom, the ring crew. Everybody worked very hard. Everybody worked really hard, the hardest you've ever seen. But let me tell you something. Just because you worked really hard making me that beautiful meal, there's a dead rat in it, I'm going to say something. I don't care. We don't care. Okay, we all know everybody, all the sacrifices, all this and that. Not downplaying it. I don't want to say it for every fucking time we thumbs up or thumbs down a match. Okay? Number three, everybody, just think about it this way. There's nothing personal. I'm not mad at the person behind Jey Uso. I'm not mad at the person behind Gunther. These are all characters, and we're going by that, and that's it. So shut the fuck up. They're not going to date you. No one's calling you. No one's sliding your DMs because you played Captain Save-A-Ho for Liv Morgan. Okay? It's just not going to happen. I'm Basement Jer, co-host of the Basement Bookers Podcast, and this is Rich the Riz, the most Riz's baldest man. And we're here to talk about WrestleMania and whatever The Rock said.
Yeah, most risen baldest champion.
You do what you got to do. If you have to cheat and not do like it fairly, that's fine. The option was there to record before I left for vacation, and then you decided to go on business yourself because knowing you can't beat me. So you had to take whatever opportunity you could get. That's fine. It's okay. Just remember, when the shoe's on the other foot and you never win again, you asked for this. Okay? All right. So now that that's out of the way, we'll get into WrestleMania. And we'll start with you. We're going to do a random match. I'm going to put it up on the screen. And then we're going to see how you could do this concept.
Thumbs up. I like this match. It was fun, and I like everything about it.
Okay, so you already did it wrong. So just remember that not everybody's on YouTube, and you actually have to say what you're looking at. So let me help the champion. Let me help you. Welcome to the first match that we're talking about. This is Braun Breaker versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus Penta. And this is a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship.
All right. Thumbs up. Everything I said before.
Okay. Wow. All right. So thumbs up from me, mainly because it was the outcome I preferred. The story is all there. We'll get to what this means for everything when we talk about the evolution of the business and dangerous alliances and all that stuff. But right now, it's clear as paper, rubbed with grease, that Dominic Mysterio, the greasiest man on this match card, would be the winner. And that's a thumbs up from Basement Jer. Moving right along to the next one. Now, this is a tag team match. This is the War Raiders versus the New Day. Thank God for the New Day. Thumbs down from me, not because of the result. I love the New Day, but this whole Clash of Clans bullshit, the commercialization of this is just disgusting. I did not like it. I hated it. It's just showing me that the soul of pro wrestling is being sucked out in a rock sized straw for the masses. But yes, thumbs down, but not because of the result. So, yeah.
All right. Thumbs down for me as well for all of those reasons. Plus, the match itself, really not memorable. Again, I like the result, but otherwise, unmemorable. Thumbs down.
All right. This next one is probably not a good idea to do right now, so I'm going to go to this one. It says Jade Cargill versus Naomi. And this was the first ever WrestleMania women's match. No stipulation, no belt, no nothing. Just hands and graps. Thumbs up for me. It did everything it needed to. It wasn't gonna be, Steamboat versus Savage, but it was still really good, and I had fun with it.
Same. Also, thumbs up. It's good match. Again, the match did what it needed to do, and it was the right finish.
Excellent. Next up, we've got Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. Obviously, thumbs up from me. Regardless, even though more commercialism, but it was for Doom the Dark Ages. And Drew was dressed like the Doom Slayer, sort of. Minus for no sword, but whatever. Didn't want to go back to that. Result was good. You know what could you get from this? It's was it a Sin City street fight that was not in the streets of Sin City, but I digress. Your turn.
Right. So actually, thumbs down from me because the match wasn't memorable. In part, I think I will blame the placement on the card. It was the second match of night 2. It was weird placement, and I rewatched WrestleMania Night 2 yesterday, and I was looking for stuff, and I got meh. So didn't love the match. I think Priest should have won, but all that aside, they're obviously doing something. They're still continuing that, but ultimately, thumbs down.
Well, it's okay to be wrong. All right, so let's go and do the next one. We're gonna do. All right, so there isn't a graphic for this because this was a prize. It was Randy Orton, and he had a surprise opponent, and his name was Joe Hendry.
His name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry.
All right, so this was a thumbs up from me. What could I say? It was Joe Hendry versus Randy Orton. And Joe Hendry lost, and Randy won. But still, just a TNA champion, and it's Joe Hendry and Randy Orton. So, show of mutual respect and whatnot. And yeah.
Same for me. Thumbs up for me. Fun couple of minutes. Fun little surprise that it was Joe Hendry. Popped the crowd big. That gets anyone at home that doesn't know who Joe Hendry is, hasn't seen TNA. Oh, this international crowd, they know who he is. They love him. Maybe let me check it out. So it did what it needed to do in a short 3 minutes bell to bell. And of course, we had the second RKO to close off. So thumbs up.
All right, let's keep it going. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. This was for the women's tag team championship, night 2.
Or the solo championship.
Thumbs up. I like Tiffany Stratton. I figured I picked Charlotte Flair because then I thought she wouldn't win if I did, and it turns out I was correct. But yes, nothing else I could really say. There were times where I was like, is she sandbagging? What's going on here? I think it was just fine. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Yep. Thumbs up for me as well. There were some parts that looked a little sloppy, but that could be attributed to just how heated the feud is. Like if you want to say it makes it look more believable when it's a little sloppy like that, I'm down with it. Tiffany got a bruise or something on her head. Looked like she might have chipped a tooth. She didn't, but it looked like she might have in the moment. Bloody mouth, bloody lip, whatever it was. Good match. Thumbs up.
Yep. A real fight is not clean.
Mm-hmm.
A real fight is messy. So good on that, I guess. All right. The United States Championship match. Um, LA Knight,
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu. Big thumbs up for me. Was the exact result that I wanted. And a lot of other people wanted, know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. New champ. I like what's going on. Solo tried to take credit, but Jacob wasn't having it. So
Mm-hmm.
they're definitely going to flip him uh, officially babyface as if he's not already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be Solo versus Jacob coming.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Thumbs up for me as well. Uh, Same thing. It was a good, solid match. Clean win by Jacob, and clear win by Jacob as well. And yes, the way they are transitioning to this feud with Solo, it's a natural transition. Thumbs up.
Well, it's not just that, but also that LA Knight, he comes in and he's telling the truth because he guaranteed that Jacob Fatu would eat a BFT, and
Mm-hmm.
he did eat a BFT,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't fill him up. So there you go.
Yep. Still hungry.
Next we have AJ Styles, Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs down because I don't like Logan Paul,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't. Here we go, etc. We get it. We know why he's where he is. We know this and this, this and that, whatever. Storyline wise, it looks like it's gonna be more AJ, more Cross, and Logan moves on to the next one,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows what that could be? Maybe it's main event Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the heavyweight championship.
Could be.
I would save that for later, so much later that you have Logan Paul beat Jey Uso because people love Jey and they hate Logan Paul, so that you would get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Thumbs up from me. So, hate on Logan Paul. I get it. He's not a good person genuinely, right? But as far as his work ethic, I like it. It went exactly the way I thought it would. Plus, the carrying cross moment there, all went down well. Thumbs up.
All right. let's move over here to the Women's Tag Team Championship match featuring Becky Lynch and guest starring everybody else. Of course, thumbs up. Becky Lynch comes out, drops the leg. 1, 2, 3. And new Women's Tag Team Champions until Monday, where Becky Lynch beats the crap out of Lyra after they lose the championships to Liv and Raquel. You had to be a blind man not to see where this was going. What a dangerous time for Lyra Valkyria. And of course, that's a thumbs up again. And yeah, bonus points to Liv and Raquel, matching outfits. Good for you.
Yep. So it's 2 thumbs up from me, one for the WrestleMania match and one for the follow-up, which includes the Becky Lynch heel turn. Thankfully, I'm hoping she takes the IC title from Lyra and does something with it. Good, good solid match. Good sell by Liv of the shock and fear of Becky's return. All went well. So again, double thumbs up.
You know, some might say that Liv Morgan might have been the architect of her own destruction. We don't know. It's not confirmed to attack Bailey. From all it could have been Liv or Raquel because they didn't deny it, but they also said good that she did. So this should probably lead to. I hope it's Bailey versus Becky for the IC title running around.
That would be good.
But Lyra, yeah, shouldn't have it. Looks like that's where they're going. All right, next one. We have Rey Fenix, who replaced Rey Mysterio, and against El Grande Americano. Thumbs down on this. I don't know. There was just something wasn't jiving for me. Something was missing here. Of course, Chad Gable wins. Apparently a one-sided plate in the head. There's no way it hurts you, just the other person somehow. But that could have led to why I'm like, I don't understand this gimmick. This is weird to me. Because even if you're wearing a football helmet and you hit another guy, there's still some residuals in there. Even if you have padding, but there's no padding on that thing. So it shouldn't hurt either person, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm just confused because you said Chad Gable, but this is El Grande Americano. I don't know why people keep mixing the two up. So of course, Rey Fenix was the Rey placement for Rey Mysterio, because Rey got hurt on SmackDown. Thumbs up for me. I like the match. And it's a pad, you know. It's a little pad. It's not a steel plate or anything. It's a pad because it's well known that El Grande Americano just has the hardest head of all luchadors. So he does it as a favor to the other luchadors, to all his opponents, that he doesn't just like ruin and end their careers. He puts a pad in so that he will hurt them but not injure them. So it's not a steel plate. Let's stop the speculation. No one can prove it, right? As far as the way the match went, exactly as I envisioned it. Just, you know, tagging in one Rey for another.
Yeah, okay. We could agree to disagree on that. All right, next one. Triple threat match: Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair. Thumbs up. The story was simple. Io, is a champion because Rhea was distracted by Bianca Belair. If it's insecurity or there was actual malice behind Bianca Belair being at ringside, knowing full well her being at ringside would be a distraction. Regardless, it could have been a distraction for Io or Rhea. Whenever you add another element out there, there's a chance that someone could accidentally get hit, and it limits what you can do outside of there. And there's a lot of discourse online about people booing Bianca Belair. Why they boo Bianca Belair? But she's in the right and all this and that. Yeah, she is. But guess what? Boo whoever the fuck you want. I don't care. You can boo who you want. That's the whole point. We can just do what we want. Everybody here played their part perfectly. And here's the secret, guys. You ready? You ready? They're all friends. They're fine. They're fine with it. It's okay. So have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
All right.
So same thumbs up from me. Just a quick moment in rewatching WrestleMania and this match. I saw where Bianca broke her fingers. It was the Tower of Doom spot. Rhea ended up landing on Bianca's arm, and I guess her hand was awkward, and so it was immediate. She was like holding her hand right then and there. So that's where Bianca broke her fingers. I agree. The story was simple. Io Sky was the disrespected champion in between this feud between Bianca and Rhea to get to Io's title. And Io showed them up. She showed them out. She proved why she can't be forgotten about, why she can't be an afterthought when it's her damn title. And yeah, she walked away as champion as she needed to. Bianca got booed. I'm speculating because she's starting to get to that Charlotte kind of status, where it's like, oh, you're still at the top of the card, huh? Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley is fresher with the fans. She has been at the top of the card nearly as long, so the fans still love Rhea. But when Io got the 3 and that whole crowd popped, that was exactly what I believe management and creative wanted at the end of that match, for Io Sky triumphant and still, and Rhea and Bianca done. So
Man,
definite thumbs up for
I
me.
don't agree. I agree with your assessment, but I don't agree about the discourse with Bianca and Rhea. I don't think Bianca's approaching that Charlotte stuff because up until Elimination Chamber, she was just doing tag team with Jade. Like how long should she have to back seat? While she was doing that, Rhea's doing main event shit for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Like, how's that fair? Like, she was feuding with Liv and stuff. It's not like she ever got bumped down ever. I mean, not recently. If you're gonna compare the two track records,
That's true.
that doesn't make any sense to me. And then
That's a
she
good point.
goes and she wins the Elimination Chamber.
Mm.
You know,
How-
she deserved that. But Charlotte,
it-
she just comes in, wins the Royal Rumble, and then we all seen what happens with that.
I don't know. Maybe people are just tired of Bianca. Maybe they want
Okay.
to see something new from her character. That's what I'd like to see.
You know, it's funny because people say that about her, and it's like, well, how long was Hulk Hogan doing Hulkamania for? No one asked for him to change shit until he had to. Bret Hart was the excellence of execution for a long time. Stone Cold Steve Austin, though, it's like, wow, we could use a little bit more of, maybe a change in character of Stone Cold. He's always the same. I don't get that. But that's fine.
Oh, so with the first two, with Hogan and Brett, it was a different era. You didn't have weekly TV, really. Towards the end of Brett's era, yeah. Hogan also towards the end. But like 4 years on top for Hogan is like 8 months on top for current day and age.
I don't know, man. I feel like you're falling into the shorts generation, the TikTok people. Yeah, this
Maybe.
is too much for my attention span. I can't. Like, how is it that you could go with the Roman Reigns epic bloodline? All I do is win, win, win,
Hmm.
and not be okay with Bianca Belair, who isn't always win, win, winning like that. It just confuses me. But I guess the argument could be like you like the tribal chief character better or something.
Yeah, it's all in
But
the presentation and the character. But you know what? This is a good opportunity for the viewers and listeners to let us know down below, YouTube comments or wherever, what you think, why you think people are booing Bianca. Do you boo Bianca? Let us know why down below.
personally, I just think that people being unfair, and I get that. But like I said, you can boo whoever the hell you want.
Yeah,
Um,
factual.
all right, so let's move on. I'm gonna go into. We'll talk about John Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
Mm,
This one is difficult because there's no middle. There's either you liked it or you didn't like it. But you could say, for me, um, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna thumbs up this. I'll tell
mm-hmm,
you why. Because John Cena won and he's 17-time world champion.
mm-hmm,
Now you're probably like, duh, 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 duh. Look,
mm-hmm.
I get it. It's either thumbs up or thumbs down, and I had to make a choice. Did I like Travis Scott coming out? No. This guy's like 90 pounds, and he's giving the world champion a problem. All right? His music played. Like, can I get storyline as to why they didn't get more referees? Like, one referee's down. You could send in another guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
There's
it's easy
no.
to it's easy to say storyline. Rock said no one but Travis Scott can go out there right now.
Okay, well, you can't do that because The Rock wasn't there. Okay, The Rock had nothing to do with this.
He could have
And we'll talk
literally
about
phoned
that
it in.
later.
Hmm.
Okay, Rich, he
I'm
could
just
phone in, you could call the president, but if you're not telling me that, it doesn't mean anything.
right.
I'm
I'm
the
saying
what's
it could.
presented to me.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying they should have told us that.
Okay, well, that could be your thumbs up or thumbs down. I was trying to do mine real quick. That wasn't necessary, but the finish, whatever. You know, Cody's been kicked in the balls multiple times. He almost ended Kevin Owens' career in a regular in a title match, in a ladder match.
Hmm.
But when it came to John Cena, his hero, you can argue he's his hero. He doesn't want to do that, so he doesn't want to win that way. All right, fine. It does kind of make him look like an idiot because the championship's important, and all of this stuff is happening, and your argument is that you're here for them, for all these people. You don't think you owe it to them to do whatever you have to do, especially when John Cena put that on the board. Okay, he opened the door to that, and you're just defending yourself.
Yep.
And that's all. And now we don't know what Cody is. He wasn't on SmackDown. I think he went to like Hollywood Studios in Orlando with his family or something. When you lose, you don't get to go to Disney. Okay? You got to go to Hollywood Studios Disney. You don't get to go to Magic Kingdom.
There you go.
All right.
So
Now it's your turn, the champ's turn.
all right. So short version, thumbs up. Longer version, which won't be long. Speaking of long, why does Travis Scott get an Undertaker length entrance? Tell him to giddy up. Tell him to get down there if he's gonna do something. Uh but he is mostly ineffective. I don't think he actually got to lay hands on Cody. But like enough of a distraction, enough pulling the attention away, yada yada. We saw what happened, and now we got the follow up. So by the way, Travis Scott's the only really real thumbs down here. But we got the follow up. It's gonna be Cena versus Orton at Backlash for the world title. Running it back. It's like it's 12 years ago again, and I'm here for it. Thumbs up.
It's the last time it's
Hmm.
being billed at.
Yep.
So it's going to be Randy, John Cena for the last time. Good stuff from them on SmackDown. I'd recommend you see it. It's about, pro wrestling and everything it's given Randy and John, and how John doesn't give a shit. He's gonna kill wrestling, and he doesn't appreciate being parent shamed by Randy Orton.
That
I
was
couldn't
good.
believe he pulled that shit. But also, based Randy Orton. Keeping it real. Just saying.
Kinda
All
true.
right.
I'm happy that you love your kids, but not for me, dog. So he
Well,
said.
he says he's been raising other people's kids
Hmm.
for the last 25 years or whatever.
That was great. That was so good.
Yep. All right. Some say this should have been on WrestleMania. It's the TLC match, which saw Montez Ford versus Motor City I'm sorry, Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and hold on a second. I know there's another team there.
Was there a fourth?
I don't know.
I thought it was just
Probably.
DIY and the guns.
Okay, and then them.
Mm.
Then it was fine.
Yeah. Also,
Tez
thumbs
won.
up.
They was a spear from Dawkins to Tommaso Ciampa, who doesn't have a beard,
Mm.
and he was hanging from there. Oh yeah, thumbs up. Even though it wasn't on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah. Same thumbs
But
up.
I would argue, sorry,
That's okay. I'm jumping in. Sorry.
that it would not have stolen the show if it was on night one or night two. I'm sorry. It's nice for you to say that in hindsight, internet, but that wasn't going to happen. People were still going to be talking about John Cena versus Cody on night two, and they were going to talk about what happened in the triple threat match. Not that they weren't going to talk about this, but it wasn't going to steal the night. Sorry.
Hmm.
Maybe like close third or something. But no, you want it on SmackDown because it wasn't going to get the time that it got on SmackDown at WrestleMania. It's just not a reality.
True. This match is thumbs up for me, even though it wasn't on WrestleMania. I thought maybe it could have replaced the Priest and Drew. As far as like that match was more memorable to me than Priest and Drew was. Um, but that spear from Dawkins to Champa, like we know they were trying to recreate the Edge Jeff Hardy, and it didn't quite work. It looked like Dawkins landed on his knees, which is not going to be good for the longevity of his career, I think. Um, but he looked okay, but you're not supposed to land on your knees like that. And it looked like Champa landed a little odd also. By the way, Champa beardless due to an injury at home. He fell, had a huge gash. You can see it on his Instagram if you're curious. It's a little gruesome. Um, but I really like that match, and I think I'm glad it got the time on SmackDown. I agree. I think it might not have gotten that much time on Mania. So maybe that was a good idea by
That's
them.
that's why I disagree on your assessment. Where you'd rather have that instead of Priest and Drew. That the match would have been too long. It's just not going to work that way. It's three teams. It's three tag teams
Hmm.
versus a singles match. Even if it's a street fight, it's still going to be less time than
Yeah.
would be needed to be allotted for that ladder match, TLC match or whatever, which
Mhm.
was thrown together after WrestleMania. So unless I have confirmation that this was leading to a match and they didn't do it for time, and they decided to throw this together to highlight their tag team championship, I'm all good with that.
Mhm.
Um, all right, let's get to the night one main event. It was CM Punk ass versus Roman Reigns and Seth fucking Rollins. This was for apparently a new boyfriend for Seth Rollins. Turns out that Paul Heyman likes to he likes to sleep around. He gets around. He likes to put his hands in between, go from the left to the right sometimes. That's how you know he likes you better, Roman
Mm-hmm.
Reigns.
Yep.
And it wasn't enough. This is a hard one to call. So it's either thumbs up or thumbs down. So I'm gonna have to do a thumbs up, mainly because it pushes the story forward and it angers me because if I was able to watch the Monday Night Raw and the SmackDown, even not that, I would have been able to pick Seth Rollins because there was all this evidence that I didn't get to see, and it pisses me off.
Mm.
Um, so Seth winning with everything I saw was the right move, especially what he said, best for business. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
We're going back to that. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that with Paul Heyman. And now we know. And you know, we have when we do our watch parties, we have people come in, and a chatter there pretty much called that Braun Breaker would be a heel, and he wound up with this dangerous evolving alliance here with Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
When they left the Tribal Chief, OTC, and CM Punk laying. Could this lead to a team up? We don't know, but that's it for me. Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up for me too. I have no reason whatsoever to thumbs down this. I thought every little bit of the story was so well told. I called it with the best for business line. I saw it. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be a swerve, but it wasn't. It was a breadcrumb, and I'm glad for it. I liked everything about the match. I liked everything about the story being told. I like Braun Breaker, and maybe we should call this the Dangerous Freaking Alliance.
All right, well, we'll see if they give you a call after watching this because everybody watches it. So for Jey Uso versus Gunter, you got to either do a thumbs up or a thumbs down because that's the rule.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's going to have to be a thumbs down. Not because of the result, because of the finish. It was 3 or 4, I don't remember, Uso splashes, and then there was a submission. And Gunter tapped immediately. Like, whoa, Jerry, what was your problem, Jerry? Gunter's tapped before, Ilya Dragunov. In a war. In a war. And I don't think Ilya was clocked over the head with the heavyweight championship that they were
Mm-hmm.
fighting over. I don't think so. Gunter did everything but shoot Jey Uso, and he couldn't get the job done. What are we talking about here? And it wasn't like a tap, like, it takes a little bit of time. No, it was right away, immediately. Like it was barely cinched in. Like, explain it to me. Was he afraid of passing out? Like, I don't understand this. So, yeah, it's a thumbs down for me. But like I said at the top of the show, because obviously there'll be at least one person that'll forget what I said, that it's not personal, that we like everybody. It's we're just doing it based on the show. But that's fine. You can yeet to your heart's content, and then when you come back to me, you're like, "Oh, is this all this is? Is yeet and one more time, yeet? Oh, okay. Then I'll be here and I'll accept you. No problem. No questions asked. But until then, yeet your little hands out. It doesn't bother me.
You.
So that's it.
So I am in complete agreement here. It's a thumbs down from me because pretty much exactly what Jerry said, but I'm just gonna give the perspective of Gunter was not protected with that finish. It was a quick tap. Yeah, it was a couple splashes, and yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say, yeah, Jey Uso's over. Yeah, he's a tough dude. He is not on the level of toughness as Ilya Dragunov. Period. Right? The presentation that they've Jey Uso and Ilya Dragunov and Gunther, and put them in one column and Jay in the other. The presentation is very different. Jay is a fun character. He's tough in that he has heart, in that he will persevere, but he doesn't come off as a hard hitter. He never came off as a submission guy. And yeah, I get it. The sleeper was Gunther's finisher. You could say that Gunther wasn't prepared for it. He wasn't expecting it out of Jay. All right, but it's his finisher, so he should know counters. He should know how to get out of it. So, short version, thumbs down. You gotta protect Gunther better than that. And then on the next night, having him suspended after attacking Pat McAfee. No, I don't like it.
Well, it's indefinite and it's a fine, but that there's got to be consequences for doing stuff like that.
Sorry, I thought it was a suspension. You're right. What I saw was a fine, but whichever, whatever they want.
Yeah, it's both.
Oh,
He's
okay.
fined and he's suspended indefinitely,
Okay.
whatever that means.
Yeah.
All right. So if you go into the private chat, you'll find a link to the Watch Together, and we're gonna talk about The Rock and Pat McAfee glazing him, and we'll find out what happened with WrestleMania, why he wasn't there.
Massively successful actor, Mount Rushmore professional wrestler, friend of the program, ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah. You look jacked. You look jacked, Rock. How you doing, brother?
Wow, you Papa Tui using handsome son of a bitch. Listen, you looking jacked. How are you feeling after last night?
Well, I went to a medical facility in Las Vegas. Thank you for asking. Did not expect Gunther to try to pop my head off of my body, but he attacks.
His head turned purple. His face was purple.
Mm-hmm. That's
Michael
that's
Cole.
Sleeper. That's
Yeah.
Sleeper. Jay.
So
You.
we'll try to get past Pat glazing The Rock. I wonder if we can.
Little glaze fest.
Gonna increase the speed a little bit. So I think you need that. Let's try 1.5. See how that goes.
Obviously, you and I both. You attack one of my boys. I have to do something. I didn't know we were getting into a
Is
fight.
that too fast, or is that?
I think it's fine.
Do you think it could go faster?
No.
Okay. Well, let me just test it first,
Mm.
just for fun.
Mm.
Let's try 1.75.
I turn around, massive mistake. I get it. And then he snatched me up. And I went night-night. He sent me to Dreamland last night right there in Las Vegas. And I know you've probably had to experience this a few times. The boys jumped the barricade to try to get in there. Just quick, you're the director of the board here. What's all your security doing attacking my guys and not getting Gunther off my neck? Rock, what the hell's going on?
Well, first of all, when your guys hop the barrier like that, I text you and I said, I love that shit because if it's on for one, it's on for everybody. Yeah. And that was phenomenal. So I love those boys jumping that barrier, and they had to get in it because your boys came with that heat, man. But by the way, it looks like he's got that thing on pretty snug around your head. You're trying to...
See, it's not even that fast. Now imagine having to listen to this on normal speed.
Mm. Yeah, it's be right.
Yeah, I was. And I obviously witnessed it back later in real time. Because at this moment right here, the body's there, but I'm not. Sure. And whenever I come back to it, I have the Hurricane. Shout out to the Hurricane. And Shane Helms is right above me. He's like, you're okay, buddy. He's like, doesn't feel like it. All of a sudden, I'm looking up the lights. I don't know what's going on here. And then I see my boys. There's a Hurricane there. Thank you for helping me, Shane. The man Petey there, creator of the Canadian Destroyer, also helping me out in that entire thing. All the boys are there. And then Gunther just kind of walks away. You need to get this guy under control, Rock. This is your company. You need to get this guy under control.
Hey, listen, it may be my company, but at the end of the day, it's WWE and it's pro wrestling, so anything can happen. So you got to get your shit together. So give me a call.
Let's talk about WrestleMania weekend. We got sent over a bunch of numbers about this.
Now, you can't probably see this, but an eagle-eye viewer will be able to spot a certain Tyrannosaurus head in the Rock's, whatever room he's in, his rock cave. I think he's got the Vince McMahon Tyrannosaurus head. I guess he wasn't able to take it home with him. Well, maybe it was a gift to The Rock. We'll never know. Okay.
Could have been.
The attendance obviously insane. The merch
Sorry?
I was
You
saying,
take so long to say shit.
Sorry, could be whoever's running WWE. You need the magic T-Rex head to do so.
Well, it's not helping The Rock.
It's not.
Absolutely outrageous. The attendance at the WWE world, everything up into the right for the WWE right now. And obviously, the WWE is hotter than it's ever been. The world loves it. WrestleMania is its biggest weekend. Did you expect this going in? And what are your thoughts on the weekend as a whole whenever you see stuff like this being, kind of reported on 2 days after it ends?
Well, you never like to look at the scoreboard, obviously, and you never think that, hey, the bell is rung and everything is over. So you put your best foot forward, you converge everything. It was a big build up to WrestleMania. Obviously, you were a big part of that, and the show was a big part of that. I was very happy, man, to see these numbers, and it's really reflective, I think, of WWE, the growth of WWE. I think the excitement of WWE, and my goal and my job and my role is to continue to, as I always like to say, just cast the net further, cast the net out there. Let's transcend professional wrestling and still keep it professional wrestling in the anchor of it, but reach for more. And so I love that every year we keep breaking records, knock on wood, and we keep gaining new fans, which I thought was great. And I do want to point out,
You're going to keep breaking records if you keep raising the price. It's going to be more money because you keep robbing people. You're just charging all this money. I don't know if it's every show or just the WrestleManias, but you're starting to price people out. You've priced me out.
Tickets too damn high.
Right.
The
And
$400 for fucking bleachers, the nosebleeds. Get out of here.
yeah, and looking at WrestleMania, it wasn't worth it. This year was not that much money. It wasn't worth that much money for me to spend. All right.
I got the Peacock subscription. I watched it home. I was good.
Well, if you were Macaulay Culkin, they'll care about you. Okay.
number one is I want to thank you and thank the boys here on the show for the incredible build-up. As you know, I'm always hitting you up on the side, man. Keep it going. Thank you, brother. Thank you for all the work. And also, I want to point out that some of these matches, first of all, I was very happy with the show. A couple of things I thought could have been better, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But overall, man, everyone, the work rate of every single performer.
Hold on. Did he say something could be better? Let me go back. I'm going to slow it down because I guess it was too fast.
He might have said couldn't be better.
It's going to go.
The merch, absolutely outrageous. The attendance at the WWE world, everything up into the right for the WWE right now. And obviously, the WWE is hotter than it's ever been. The world loves it. WrestleMania is its biggest weekend. Did you expect this going in? And what are your thoughts on the weekend as a whole whenever you see stuff like this being, kind of reported on 2 days after it ends?
Well, you never like to look at the scoreboard, obviously, and you never think that, hey, the bell is rung and everything is over. So you put your best foot forward, you converge everything. It was a big build up to WrestleMania. Obviously, you were a big part of that, and the show was a big part of that. I was very happy, man, to see these numbers, and it's really reflective, I think, of WWE, the growth of WWE. I think the excitement of WWE, and my goal and my job and my role is to continue to, as I always like to say, just cast the net further, cast the net out there. Let's transcend professional wrestling and still keep it professional wrestling in the anchor of it, but reach for more. And so I love that every year we keep breaking records, knock on wood, and we keep gaining new fans, which I thought was great. And I do want to point out, number one is I want to thank you and thank the boys here on the show for the incredible build-up. As you know, I'm always hitting you up on the side, man. Keep it going. Thank you, brother. Thank you for all the work. And also, I want to point out that some of these matches, first of all, I was very happy with the show. A couple of things I thought could have been better, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But
couple of things I thought could have been better. We'll talk about that in a second. So I was right. I don't know about that because Jey Uso won. The result was probably what they wanted.
Certainly what Rock wanted.
I mean, we don't necessarily know that, but I think so.
Family.
All right.
overall, man, everyone, the work rate of every single performer, women and men, was dynamic. I thought we discovered and created a lot of big stars with big potential. Number one, Jey Uso, yeet. Very happy for my family there. The Usos, yes, man, that was a big night for him. Big night for our family, yeet.
Yep.
Big night for our family there with the Anawais, Maivias, Fitus Manus, the Johnsons, Fafitas, Snookas. I mean, just all.
I'm glad he's talking about all this because up until now, all he was using was all these fucking boardroom fucking talk. He should have just said synergy all over the place. You know, like, what are you, all this corpo speak, man? What are you?
All of us Polynesians, very proud of him. I also want to point out Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
And how, when you think about what I love about Jacob is, you know, the last event I was there, I went backstage, I gave him the biggest hug, man. And, you know, he had tears in his eyes saying, this saved my life. And so I think when you have that kind of performer who is pulling and digging into something and delivering his soul and passion to something that has saved his life, man, you're flying at a different level. And fans could feel that, and fans love that. This is why the guy goes out there, and he's supposed to be the quote heel in the match. And they're cheering the hell out of him. They're chanting his name. And that told me immediately, man, there's a big future there with Jacob, and I can't wait. I thought the girls, all the women, by the way, they worked their ass off. They stole a huge portion of the show. And let's see, I think, and the first night's main event with Seth, Punk, and Roman, I thought was fantastic. We'll get into the second night main event too. I know you got some questions about that first night's main event. So
yeah, I do. Second night main event, definitely. We got some questions too. I got some brand new shoes. I cannot wait. The boys brought me some of these brand new shoes. So we will certainly ask about the second night main event, because obviously you are a massive piece of that entire thing. But let's talk about that first night main event. Paul Heyman is obviously somebody that you
So massive that he wasn't there.
You've known for your entire life. I would assume Roman, same exact way. He's known him since he was a little child. Literally, Paul Heyman, I asked him whenever he was wise man for Roman Reigns, I said, when did you know Roman was the guy? He goes, when Roman was 6 years old, he walked into the locker room, and I knew. And he gave like this full answer about, like, I knew this was going to be the next one. So he's been around your guys' family literally forever. Then CM Punk's his best friend. He does the favor for CM Punk. Then he hired to CM Punk. Okay, didn't expect that. In my mind, I'm on the side. I'm like, yes. He's back with our tribal chief. Yes, the bloodline is back. And look at Roman, who was absolutely shredded. Shout out to the discipline that Roman Reigns had leading into WrestleMania. Maybe the best he's looked ever, legitimately. So then Paul Heyman obviously says, CM Punk, my right arm's going to your nuts. You're not going to win this one. Who do you think I'm here with? My tribal chief. And then lo and behold, just a few minutes later, hiya! And then he dangles that thing around to make sure he gets the entirety of it. And then obviously Paul Heyman hands the chair to Seth freaking Rollins. Whenever you see something like this unfold as another chair shot, as if it was the end of the Shield yet again, and then last night Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman take a victory lap, basically, and then they add Braun Breaker to the mix. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on how that goes down, how that ends, and how Paul Heyman's a snake? He's a snake.
He is.
Let me get to that part in a second. Let's talk about Braun Breaker. I love what he's been doing lately. I think that he's really shown out and shown up. I feel like, what happens, and I went through this too as well, there's this maturation process, what happens when you come into the world of WWE, and if you got a little bit of heat to you, in a good way, good heat, and you got a little bit of potential to you, the company will see that, and they'll start putting you in positions where we see how, not only how you react to those positions, but more importantly, how the fans react to it. So Braun's been put in these positions, man, where he has really risen to the occasion. I'm not surprised. He looks like $1 million. He's believable. He's legitimate, and he comes from a hell of a bloodline in the Steiner family, which, as we know. So I was happy to see that last night. Happy to see the way it went down. The first night's main event, the finish of that main event, I loved it. I loved every second of it because, I watched. I was at home on my couch with the fans. And as you know, I was texting you throughout the show and texting you throughout that main event.
On the couch.
Home.
Could have been at WrestleMania. And it would have added to the main event that you inserted yourself into at Elimination Chamber, believe it or not. You did that. You put yourself there, and we'll get to that. I had to pause because someone's gotta.
Keep it going. This is amazing. Stay in that zone. Stay in that zone. And but when I was watching it the first night, that main event, I know the finishes of what's going to happen. I know all the finishes, but I want to not know how they get there. That's the thing. So especially if I'm watching at home. So I'm watching it, and I watched how they got there, and I loved it. I thought.
I know all the finishes. So kayfabe's on the ground, bleeding to death. And you're just, let's go. Let me just pee on it a little bit.
It was dramatic. I thought it was exactly what it needs to be. But also he was in a way raised in this business, grew up in this business, loved this business. I knew him back in my grandmother days, like way back in the day when he was just a kid. So his passion for the business goes way back, but also his intellect goes way back, and he understands. He's a big thinker. He's a long game thinker. I have a cool fact about the final boss of Paul Heyman, which I want to share in a second after I talk about him. But I loved how it all went down, and I loved that ultimately it came down to Seth and Paul and what that's going to look like. And now we'll see how it all unfolds. We have the rest of the spring. We have the rest of the summer. But I loved every moment of that. And look, I thought, shout out to Roman. He came in incredible shape. I think every year he is dialing it in more and more. I think this idea of people calling him a part-timer really fuels the fire in him to show you, man, I'm a lot of things, and you want to call me part-timer, but the company is still on my back. And now watch what I do. And he comes in incredible shape. I thought Seth is always delivers. He's our Superman. I love that guy. I connected with him after the show. He's just phenomenal. You can count on him around every corner. What I love about Seth is you can continue to see him grow. And you can continue to see, it's like, when I told Cody a month and a half ago, or maybe longer, hey, I don't want your title. I want your soul. And then Seth followed it up, I think the following week, says, I don't want your soul. I want that. And as simple as he made it, he still made it powerful, and then here we are. So I love what those guys did last night. I loved it. I'm sorry, on Saturday night, I loved it.
Now let's get to your soul talk, okay? Let's get to the soul talk. Because what we saw at Elimination Chamber, when, you ordered the to John Cena, and we see John Cena's face go from, oh, you can't see me, hustle, loyalty, respect, to the last time is now. and then he shakes Cody's hands, and then he kicks him right in the dong. Okay, and then obviously all roads lead to the main event of WrestleMania. WrestleMania Sunday, night 2 in Las Vegas. Here we go. What were your thoughts whenever you're watching that? Obviously, you're pulling for John Cena, who's your guy. Are you texting him before the match? Are you giving him heads up? Was there a thought of you coming and maybe having to involve yourself a little bit just in case Cena wasn't able to get the job done, because the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes is in the middle of his prime right now, in the middle of his run? What were your kind of thoughts going into the night, and what was your expectation of John Cena going against a very, very, very great champion in Cody Rhodes?
A very great champion in Cody Rhodes. Now keep in mind, for us here and all the fans, speaking as DJ, as Rock, director of the board, and not final boss, I got to tell you that let's start with the ending, and let's start with John becoming the 17-time heavyweight champion and legitimizing himself as being, without question, the GOAT, period. He's on Mount Rushmore now. Got to kick a guy off to put him on. I think now Dusty goes in the back. He was always on my Mount Rushmore. He goes on the back there with me. I'll be raising my eyebrows back there in the back of Mount Rushmore. But, I think that, the way John, at the end of the night, John raising that title, that was the bottom line. That was the North Star. And I loved it. And I love that moment. I think he's going to go on to have this insane run as a heel. And what I love about this, what I love about John is, I like to think that I keep not only my finger on the pulse of things, you and I have talked about this, don't keep your finger on the pulse, put your whole hand on the pulse of things. And that way, things meaning the fans and their sentiment. And I love that the fans are so engaged, they're so connected to John's heel run now. I see a few fans saying that, oh, well, I really don't believe he's a bad guy, so he's playing a bad guy. But here's the thing, you don't have to believe that he's a bad guy. You know why? Because he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. Good guy, I mean, I've known the guy for 20 years. We've gone up and down, to hell and back. We talk all the time, text all the time. He's not a bad guy. He's telling the truth now. And you could feel that in his delivery, man, because he's telling the truth. This is 25 years of imagine going out every single night for 25 years, every night, regardless of where you're at, and know that you're going to get cheered and know you're going to get booed. And in some places, it's even harder. You're going to get booed out of the building. That's a hard psychological place to be. I give John so much credit. When this heel turn, we talked about this heel turn a few months ago, and then he did it in Toronto Elimination Chamber, which we're going to get to in a second. I said, brother, I give you so much credit, and I hope you are exhilarated right now, because what you are attempting to do takes guts, and you are putting it all on the line, because there's no blueprint for a heel John Cena. It's not like we could go back and look at the books and go, okay, when John turned heel back in 2015, it worked well. Here's what happened well. Here's how we're going to make it improve. We don't have that. So he was creating it as he went along. He was crossing T's and dotting I's as he moved forward. And I thought he was brilliant. And I can't wait to see this heel run for the rest of the year. Who knows what's going to happen? I love that there is a specific amount of dates that we have John for. And I love his connection to the audience. Again, he's not a bad guy. He's not trying to play bad. He's just talking the truth. And he said, hey, I'm fed up with this shit in terms of this really messed up relationship that we have. Okay, so with the fans. So I got a call about a month before.
You still here? You following along? You got anything to say, or what's
here.
going on?
I'm here. I'm thinking about him saying there's no blueprint for heel Cena, but there is. So Cena came in as a face. He turned heel. He turned heel for the series against Brock. Maybe he's talking about. Well, maybe Rock forgot about it, but maybe he's talking about how there's no blueprint for this heel Cena. But there is. He's the same guy. He's just pissed off about not getting respected the whole time. I don't know, just weird for him to say.
Okay, well, just remember, you can pause at any time to share these thoughts, man.
I know.
It can't just be me doing that.
All right.
There's too much space with no talking, and it's like we're just watching this thing.
All right.
Or Elimination Chamber. I get a call from Ari Emanuel, who we know owns TKO. TKO owns WWE. He's been my longtime business partner and one of my best friends for over 20 years. He said, we need help at Elimination Chamber. Ticket sales are a little slow, but beyond that, he goes, what we are finding is with Elimination Chamber, it's become the pay-per-view that's been interesting. Fans have had fun, but it's also the conduit to WrestleMania. And how do we create a Elimination Chamber that people must tune in to see? How do we create that? And he goes, right now, we don't have that. And he said, will the final boss show up? I said, well, let me give it some thought.
I don't like this. I don't like the talking about the behind the scenes talk of, well, I should get involved to boost ticket sales. I don't like it. I shouldn't get involved because of storyline reason.
Well,
Save this for when the cameras aren't rolling. Save this for the conversations with the sponsors, with this, with that. Don't. There's breaking kayfabe, right? And like you said, and they're shitting on it and pissing on it, and that's what's happening right now. I don't typically have a problem with breaking kayfabe. This is another level, though.
Yeah.
And let me get back to you. So I gave it some thought. I got back to Ari. I got back to Triple H and Nick. We had a call. And I said, I have an idea. What's most important to the final boss? The most important thing to the final boss isn't titles. It's not money. It's not fame. Been there, done that, and grateful for that. Final boss wants your soul. And what does that mean? What that means, that doesn't mean, hey, the final boss wants you to act like this, be like this at his beck and call and treat you like crap and make you do all these things that are unbecoming or embarrassing. That's not what the final boss wants. That's not how the final boss lies. No. What that means is whatever you could think of in your head. So Cody Rhodes, whatever dreams you have, whatever ambitions you have, even if they're dark, even if they're amazing and they're full of light, even if they're scary, whatever those are, you tell the final boss he's going to make it all happen. You wave that magic wand, he'll make it all happen. So when it comes to giving me your soul, giving the final boss your soul, that is what you want, not what the final boss wants. And so what does the final boss get out of that? I get your soul for life. That's what the final boss gets out of that. So now we go into Elimination Chamber with this idea of, will Cody Rhodes sell his soul to the final boss? And my thought at that time, and you and I might have even, I know we talked about this, was it was a litmus test to find out, in my opinion, how will fans respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss? Let's get a temperature check on this. Let's establish it. Let's anchor it in. And you come to find out that there were a lot of fans who were saying, sell your soul. Yeah. This shit is going to be crazy. Whatever it is, it's compelling. It's going to be great. Let's do it. Sell your soul. So I was an advocate of that, not turning Cody heel soon. But eventually, down the line, I like the idea of that because Cody's a smart guy. He's an intelligent guy. He's a ring general. And I think this idea of you give him a reason to turn way down the road, by the way. You give him a reason to turn, not based on titles, not based on this, but it's his soul and what that means. That affects generations. It's transcendent beyond pro wrestling. And fans were loving it.
So you're telling me that eventually you want to turn Cody heel?
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. You're telling me that's what you want to do down the line. That's your plan. And
He's saying it's going to happen.
His explanation makes it worse because there's no... All right, unless you're like a super, super religious person and like the soul is like the most important thing to you, there's no negative drawback because the way he's saying it, it's like it's not gonna make you embarrass you. It's not negative from it, but it's basically it's like picture in your mind whatever it is that you want that's good. The final boss can get that for you, can make it happen. Just that I have your soul for life. It's like the Simpsons episode where like Bart like sold his soul to Milhouse, and he's trying to get it back, and like Milhouse is just playing with his soul with like his army men and stuff. Like it was in Bart's head because he tried to go to a supermarket and the doors wouldn't work. And he's like, "Oh, it's because I don't have a soul or whatever." But sometimes they don't work. You know, sometimes they don't work. Sometimes the Rock owns your soul, and sometimes the doors don't open. But for the most part, the Rock's gonna open doors.
That's a good segue. That's a good connection there. Otherwise, yeah, I agree. I don't like this explanation. This interview is shit. It's like it's good. Like the meat and potatoes of it is good. I think the interview is bad for the business.
I think it's like, oh, let me see what's behind there, and then you don't want to see how the sausage is being made sometimes,
right?
Or maybe it's the messenger. But I guess we'll see.
It's both.
We got closer to Elimination Chamber. We were kicking ideas around, myself and Triple H, and that's the fun part, by the way. I've been kicking ideas around with Triple H for 20 years, dude. Just always having a great time with him and Nick and my team as well. And Triple H said, what about this? What about John turning? I said, I love it. I love it. The next question is you got to talk to John, see how he feels about it. And in a moment where you have the shift and click moment, and it happened to me when I was a pure baby face. I got booed out of the building around the world, and they took the title off me my rookie year, and they sent me home in the summer of '97. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew this is not going to work for me. I don't even know if I have a future in pro wrestling. I get a call from Vince and says they're going to bring me back as a heel and be part of the Nation of Domination. I said, that's great. I love it. But just give me 2 minutes on the microphone to speak from the heart. And he did that, and things changed immediately that night. It's the same thing with John. John loved this idea of turning heel, but he's like, well, you know what? There's an anchor here that I'm going to root it in, which is a real thing that I've been experiencing over the years, past 20, 25 years. So when we were moving forward with John and this idea of him getting crowned at WrestleMania and becoming 17 and turning heel, and then being a heel champion, I knew then the best thing for the final boss, we've established this idea of Cody's soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. Step back. Let the Final Boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul eventually or John's soul. No, let's let them do what they do. And I called John after Elimination Chamber, spoke to him, called Cody, and I said, I think the Final Boss's work is done. We've established it. We just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling, other than Hulk Hogan turning heel back in the 90s. I said, this is amazing. We have 6 weeks. Now, let's build. You guys go.
I'm okay with this part of it, saying like, turn Cena heel, Cena's champ, and he's on this champ heel run, so it's not about the Final Boss right now. That I'm okay with, because you want the spotlight on Cena, and he didn't quite get the clean finish because Travis Scott came out and distracted after a year of walking down the ramp. So I'm okay with that. But again, I think the door is open too far.
I still disagree with. I only disagree was that you put with the Elimination Chamber decision. You put it in whether it was your intent or not. The fans were expecting The Rock at WrestleMania to pay this off. It's not that you left them in their hands. Like, here you go. My work here is done, and just away. No, you're a part of it now. You put yourself there. Nobody. Look, maybe there's some people thought, yay, Travis Scott. No, the Rock. They wanted The Rock. They're like, okay, even when we were talking about like early on, it's like, oh, then the Rock, Rock's gonna show up, and the Rock's gonna this and that, and he's gonna this. What does it cost you? What were you doing? You said you were watching it on your couch, so you could have been there. Don't interject yourself. And I don't know if he's just talking shit, but he basically saying that eventually Cody's going to sell his soul to The Rock. To The Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he just misspeaking or whatever, but anyway, I like The Rock. This is Dwayne Johnson.
Yep.
Oh, and crush it. And I'll be right there with you. And I'm always here if you need me. But I think it's best for the Final Boss not to be involved in that finish. You guys go. So they had 6 weeks to plan for that. So I love the finish of the match. I would have finessed things a little differently on how they got there. But that's just me creatively. There are a lot of minds in the room. That's my thought. But still, ultimately, the bottom line was I love John getting 17. And I never had a concern about John pulling this off. My thoughts are always to Cody, because of what we've established with him and his story and the kind of babyface that he is. So if done right, and I think if finesse right, and if nuance right, down the road, that guy not only has an incredible babyface run again as champion, but also just an unheard of run as a heel.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Let's talk about you saying the Final Boss needs to step away to, kind of let the spotlight be where it should be with John and Cody, who, potentially you talk about John being the GOAT. There's a chance Cody, when it's all said and done, is also trying to vie for a spot on that Mount Rushmore rock with his dad on the backside with you raising your eyebrow. A lot of people just assumed you were going to show up. So when Travis Scott comes out, they think there's a chance of maybe, there's going to be a reunion from the Elimination Chamber. What are your thoughts on Travis Scott getting involved and you saying, I need to stay out of that? Was there ever a moment where anybody was trying to tell you differently? Like, no, Final Boss, anytime you're around is a good thing, not a bad thing.
No, they don't have to say anything like that to me. And they know when I come to them, and them meaning Triple H and Nick and Ari as well, and I lay this out and I say, hey, here's how I really feel it should go. We can insert Final Boss in the end of this finish, but then where do we go? There's other commitments that I have, and I want to also be careful that we're not overstepping and leading over our skis too much here. Can't get involved in the finish. And I said, but why get involved in that finish when the spotlight should just be on, in my opinion, John, 17, heel champion? What does 2025 look like if this man is saying he's going to...
Yeah, but now the spotlight is on you not being there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is this? There's only one reason you're here on the Pat McAfee Show on a Tuesday, and that's damage control. That's what this whole thing's about.
Yeah. So I agree with you, but I think I'm okay with that little bit of explanation saying that let's keep the spotlight on Cena and Cody. Also, there's now this gap in the story that Rock wasn't there for that they can play off on later.
There's still a rock-sized hole in the finish. And his argument of, like, where do we go from there? Why didn't you ask this question on Elimination Chamber before you did this? Like, okay, if I do this, then what's after? Where do we go from here? You could have got yourself involved in that finish and just not showed up again. You could have.
I think maybe he gave us the answer earlier. He said ticket sales for Elimination Chamber needed a boost. Maybe ticket sales for Mania didn't need a boost. So it's all about the ticket sales.
Oh, so because you sold all the tickets, it's okay for you to bait and switch everybody at WrestleMania. That's what you're saying.
That's my interpretation of all of this, of what's been said and what hasn't been said.
Well, I gotta say that's pretty gross then, because you paid all that money, and The Rock couldn't be able to show up. It's weird.
There's a lot of slime on this rock.
Yeah. All right.
It's a slimy rock.
Ruin professional wrestling. That to me is the anchoring storyline. It's not Soul right now. Right now it's not. But by the way, we'll go back to it.
Yeah,
We'll
still
go back
got
to
it.
Soul.
Yeah, still
We'll go back to Soul. Look, I can't think the text that I got and from the guys that I got, who are these top guys who are saying, one in particular who I love is my guy. I call him the Superman of the company. He's like, listen, my soul's for sale when it's time.
That's Seth.
Yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
So there it is then. So now is The Rock involved in the Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman thing? We're going to find out down the line that The Rock is involved in that?
I hope not.
It's the
Let's
only thing
keep
that
it-
makes sense.
Let's keep it just Heyman.
Yeah, but The Rock, Heyman's also connected to The Rock. He has another phone. He has a phone for The Rock. Do you not remember that?
Oh, that's true.
He has a red phone for Roman, and a black phone for The Rock. I gotta fix something. Fucking noise removal's too powerful. All right.
Oh,
That I love it. Let's do it. So, look, I love Travis Scott involved, and I'll tell you why. Because he loves wrestling. He's a huge fan, and he respects it. He's working his ass off. I know that he has plans to train with Booker T. I don't know if it's happening already. It might be. Not quite too sure there on his schedule, but he loves the business. Now, I was just surprised to see Travis Scott as well, and I knew the moment I saw Travis, well, that immediately amplifies. Well, here comes the final boss. And so again,
Yes.
I love.
Oh, where is he then? Oh, that's right.
Yes,
they were waiting.
Yeah, I think I
They were
texted
waiting
you. I
for
think
it.
I texted you as it was happening. Holy
You did.
shit.
You were like, "Are you coming out?" And I was like, "No, dude. I would tell you if I'm coming out. I'm not favoring you." But again, I love. At the end of the day, North Star John Cena, heel champion, 17, the GOAT, says he's going to ruin wrestling.
he even said kayfabe.
Yeah.
Now we tune every week in every week to see how it happens, how that goes down. Some parts of it I would have just adjust a little bit more. I would have finessed.
I want to know what are these things that you would have adjusted. I really think you're talking shit now. Because then it's like, okay, it's not really my plan. There's some things, it's a Jer excuse. All right, picture in your mind. Whatever you thought needed to be fixed, that's what I thought. That's me. That's what I also thought. So just so you know, that's all he's doing. That's just, oh God, he's becoming so unlikable.
He is the perfect politician right now. Right? Like what do you think? Yeah, you know what? I feel the same way.
Some
Tell
people, they
us.
tell me that this could have been done better. I don't know. Maybe I would have done it better. I don't know. Who knows?
It's like
Talk a little bit
they're pulling part of the curtain of kayfabe back and not the right parts. You know, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Thumbs down, Rock.
Great
Dwayne.
WrestleMania. I think you all should be incredibly proud.
Great.
Would have been awesome for a.
Oh, man.
Just, I mean, the place would went absolutely apeshit, but the next time it does, it will go crazy. We have some other questions about the things you're talking about, other commitments. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, Rock, speaking of those, I read something recently that you said, like, this is the most creatively inspiring time of your career. I'm so jacked up for this Marty Scorsese movie with you, Leo, Emily Blunt. Just curious, when do you start filming that? Is that still in pre-production? What has that process been like working with all those people? And how much did you filming the Smashing Machine? I know that comes out later this year. How much did that kind of help you with this? Because I know that's kind of a step up in terms of like dramatic work compared to some of the other, action blockbustery stuff that you've been doing as of late.
Yeah, I've been wanting for some time now, since about 2019. I've been trying to listen to this voice, like in my gut, behind your ribcage. We all have that voice where it's just gnawing at us behind our ribcage. It's up to us whether we rip our ribcage open and listen to it, or if we keep that voice in there, we don't listen to it. So I had been wanting for years now to chase the challenge and be inspired by the challenge. I love making the bigger blockbuster movies. They're a lot of fun. They're hard as shit to make, and a lot of people enjoy them, hopefully, knock on wood, around the world. But I wanted more, and I wanted a challenge, and I just wanted the opportunity to disappear into something and disappear into a part in a role that would really challenge me in ways that I've never been challenged before. And on top of that,
Oh, you mean you're gonna act and not just be The Rock and everything? Black Adam? Which, by the way, congratulations on taking the DC Universe. Good job. Good job, you bald asshole. Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock. There's two different people.
Can't wait to see The Rock actually act.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's like, yeah, deep down inside, I've always wanted to be an actor and
'cause it's
become
really
other
hard.
people.
It's really
I know
hard.
it sounds crazy,
It is.
but to be
Hard as a rock.
nervous, man, and in a way, like you're buzzy. Like, how am I going to do this? I don't know how to do this. And that happened on the Smashing Machine with Benny Safdie and A24, and of course Emily Blunt, and then that led to us having a conversation, myself and Emily, about what's next. And I was telling her, I said, what's interesting about Hawaii is, in Hawaii, what I love about growing up in Hawaii is you go to Hawaii, and I'm sure a lot of us have been to Hawaii. You go to Hawaii, it's beautiful. It is the most beautiful place on the planet. Pat, you were there. I saw you send me pictures when you were there, right?
Got engaged there. Shout out to Hawaii. Shout out to Ooses. Shout out to all Ooses.
Shout out to
And
the
Moana.
Ooses over
Moana's
there.
everywhere. Yeah. Shout out. Shout out.
You can feel, man.
And
You
for
can
the
feel
root, I believe that's a drink. Yeah.
Pat is
This,
such an
Hawaii-
ass kisser. It's
Is this,
ridiculous.
Yeah, is this the HawaiiTourism.com ad portion of the show?
Yes, after me and my celebrity friends decided to do some controlled demolition and burn people out of their homes so we could do whatever we want with it. Never mind.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
conspiracy.
The end of the
Bravo.
net. Yeah. Yep. All of it. Yep. Right, yep. I'm down with all the U stuff. Yeah. All the tattoo. I don't have enough time to get the tats or the toughness, but I'm down with Hawaii. Love the place. Favorite place on earth.
It is absolutely beautiful, and you feel that mana. And I was telling Emily, what happens is when you go to Hawaii and you enjoy the beaches, the sun, the tourism, the events, the entertainment. You go 2 miles in a different direction or 3 miles in a different direction, it's a different world. And you better be careful of where you go. You better be careful about what you say and how you say it. And I mean the underground, the organized crime there. I mean, I grew up as a kid there, and so you grow up as a kid, you always know. So we were talking about that, and then about a week later, we were on a plane going to Japan to finish Smashing Machine, and Emily had said to me, "Hey, you ever a guy named Wilford?" And she didn't know his last name quite well, and I said, "Wilford, I'm not quite too sure." She goes, "Nappy." I went, "Nappy Palava." Yes. So Nappy Palava, just so you guys know, he's considered the godfather of Hawaii. And he was the godfather who ran all of the islands. But he had to do it in a way, he had to do what he had to do it, and he had to do it in a way that was very ruthless, that was very strategic, that was still very smart. But also, keep in mind, we had the Japanese Yakuza there, the Chinese triads, the Korean gangs, outside influence, American gangsters coming in from Vegas trying to take over Hawaii. Hawaii was a hotbed. And not only that, but then you had American corporations coming in at that time in the 50s wanting to just take over Hawaii. So back when Hawaii was still...
Can you get back to talking about wrestling? Holy shit. I could just pull up Wikipedia and I could read all about this guy. Who'd he ever beat?
in the late 1800s. What this man did, he was a reflection of how people, Hawaiians, the Polynesians, felt at that time. So in the 50s and in the 60s, when everyone was coming in and just taking Hawaii and cutting it up, this gang, corporate America, he said, this ends and it all ends now. And he took it back and he became the godfather of Hawaii, incredibly influential. And this story is just, it's almost like when the Universe in Kismet comes in, and there's a reason why it hasn't been told all these years. And we put this up on its feet, called Scorsese, and we had a meeting with him and we pitched him and he loved it and blown away that the story's never been told. And also, as Scorsese said, he says, when I was a kid, when Hawaii became a state in 1959 or 58, he said, I always wondered back then, well, wait a second, what happened to the Hawaiians? Where are they at? And so this idea of telling the story to Scorsese, no one does a gangster movie better than Martin Scorsese. He's the GOAT. He is the Mount Rushmore, right? He's on Mount Rushmore up there.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
With the directors. No one does
Guy
it better than
Ritchie's
him.
coming
And
up.
it is really-
He's up there. What are you talking about?
There's a lot of
What are you
goats.
talking about?
There's a lot of goats in this interview. A lot of proverbial knob slobbing if you will. But
Glazing.
Yeah. Apparently, this is about a movie. This is
Yeah,
the
he's
lead-in.
talking about a
He's talking
movie.
about this movie because I didn't know why the hell he was talking about Hawaii. I thought he was
I
just told
thought that was clear.
I thought he was just
'Cause
telling
he's-
them Emily Blunt a story about this gangster.
Well, him and Emily Blunt, they talked to Scorsese.
I think
Alright.
energized him with this project is this idea that a man stands up. Yes, a gangster. Yes, the Godfather. Yes, ruthless. But also he stands up to reclaim what was originally stolen, and that was culture, and that was land. And how about this? I've had the privilege of spending days with Nappy, Uncle Nappy, and his wife Marlise, Auntie Marlise in Hawaii, and it has been incredible.
I would skip this,
He's almost
but I don't
90.
know if he goes
is
back to wrestling.
Sharp as a whip, and it's been an incredible process. So when we talk about creatively for me, this is an incredible process to get to know this man and spend time with him. Nick Bilton is I'm also going to write a book based on this. Well, my co-writing author is going to do most of the writing.
You'll be there.
But anyway, this process, brother, has been amazing. Thank you for asking about that, and I cannot wait because again, it's just this opportunity to tell a story that's never been done. And as I've been talking to Nappy and telling him, Uncle, first of all,
This is way better.
he whispered something to me the other day, and when he talks, first of all, you go into a restaurant. As you gave me the beautiful entrance, thank you, I appreciate that. We went into a restaurant, Mama's Fish House over there in Maui. You walk in, and I walk in. Sure, I might turn my head or two. I'm walking with Nappy Palava, and this is the Godfather of Hawaii. And when I introduce everybody to him, the wait staff and everybody, it's really beautiful as they sail at us. They say, "This is my Uncle Nappy." They take their time and they say it is an honor to meet you and to have you here. And after all these years and him doing everything that he's done, when he speaks, you really listen because he'll draw you in. And he knows. He'll talk softly, quietly. And he pulled me in and he goes, "Look, I love you." He said, "I love you with all my heart. I trust no one else but you with this." And I said, "Uncle," I said, "do you have any regrets?" He said, No. He goes, "I'll tell you why. Because in life, there's right and there's wrong. And if you're going to live right, then you go for it and you live right." He goes, "Right on. You go live right. Live right." He said, "But if you're going to live wrong, you can't ever not accept everything else that comes with it." I have no regrets. Beautiful. So that's going to be the Mark Scorsese project, man.
Boy, I wonder if, because the last I checked, a Godfather isn't like a really like super nice guy that does like humanitarian work all the time. Like, I don't know, it's probably some Minecrafted people in the grounds of Hawaii that were sent there on the orders of this guy. So It's interesting that you're doing all this glazing. You have any regrets? No, they all belonged in the ground. Yeah, it's all right. As long as, as long as the narrative's on my side, right? Like, there's nothing to, morally wrong, right? There's no such thing as morality anymore, right? There's no right or wrong as long as you're doing it for the right reason. It doesn't matter how many babies need to be buried under fucking rubble, but we think they're right, and that's okay. They can do whatever the hell they want. That's what's wrong with this world.
I agree.
With Emily and Rio and Nick Bilton writing. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Next year, we're going to start shooting. Next year.
So hold on. Yeah, the reason why he asked is because all of us were fans of yours, and I think at this point we'd be able to say friends of yours.
Maybe you get The Rock to play you in a movie.
Which is an honor just in of itself. To see you get a chance now to do like a, I don't want to say like award bait, but like you're teaming up with Scorsese to tell a Godfather story that's never been told, let alone like the historical relevance that Hawaii has, not just the United States of America, but to the world. Obviously Pearl Harbor happens, but then like everything that takes place, just from my wife and I visiting over there and learning about those islands and how important they are, like almost like a linchpin to the entire world. I cannot wait to watch you do your thing in there. I cannot wait to watch you win some awards. I can't wait to watch you get the respect that you've earned in this entire thing because your commitment not only to your people, but to your craft. And we can't wait to see you come back to the WWE. And I personally would like to say, thank you for Papa Dewey, brother. Yeah, I mean, I'm on a full, it's the first time in my life. I'm a white trash kid from Pittsburgh, okay? So having a full face plan and lotion and moisturizer, never in a million years. Never in a million years would I do that. So then I see you on your Instagram and be like, hey, I created this thing, Papa Dewey. And you basically said to me, 3 years from, you're allowed to take care of your scale. Thank you, Oos. Thank you, Oos. So every morning I'm with you and Papa Dewey, I appreciate the hell out of you for everything. You're the man. We appreciate you, Oos.
Hey, listen, let me just say this. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the Papa Tui shout out there. I do, the thing about, I'll probably get in trouble with the Papa Tui board, but it's okay because I own the company. But we have a little announcement coming up with Pat McAfee, DJ, and Papa Tui. Coming up. It's coming up. And I will tell you, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you, for everybody listening, why this is just so, it's just incredibly authentic. First of all, it's our relationship and our friendship and our brotherhood. I love coming on the show. Love hanging out with the boys. We got to get together again. We'll go for another steak dinner next time we're all in the same town. So for everybody watching and listening right now, Pat comes in my trailers for the show. I can't remember what show. So it was in LA at the end of it though. Unprompted, he goes, hey, by the way, before I leave, I really love Papa Tui, man. I've been using it. And I said, dude, I don't want to sound weird, but your skin looks great. I don't want to say it. He goes, no, I appreciate it. And I goes, I just want to say thanks, man. You made a great product. And you leave. And you know this to be true. I looked at my CMO and I was like, what you just said, that was unprompted. There's something there. And then you and I talked. Anyway, so I appreciate the love. Thank you, man. Papa Tui is doing great. We just expanded our partnership.
So
Papa Tui.
So Pat is more
That
literally.
new Baba Booey?
Yeah, it
Papa
is.
Tui.
So Pat is more literally getting the glaze right now. For glazing, Papa Tui.
Papa Tui.
So this is the Papa Tui ads segment. It's like he's like, hey, you know what? He actually likes the product. there might be something there. It's like, yeah, you're not putting out a shit product. Someone actually likes it. That's what happens when you put out a decent product. And I'm not clear. I never fucking use the shit, but you know, oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate. It's an ad. This it's all an ad.
How long till Papa Tui is on the mat at WrestleMania next year or SummerSlam? Brought to you by Papa Tui.
I'm wondering if it'll be a paid ad or if it's just some glazing here, glazing there. Get us on the
No,
mat.
there's gonna be a Papa Tui table next to the Prime Hydration
Hydration
center.
station.
Yeah.
Membership in the Walmart and Target. So anyway, dude, thank you for having me on. And to the boys, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. It's always the best.
We love you,
And,
Moose.
Hell yeah,
That's
Russ.
love you. We got some Terramana to drink too.
Hell yeah.
Too early.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about this. We're blowing through the heart out here, and we can move it back to The Rock. Terramana, unbelievable.
Yep.
Moana, I mean, we didn't get into live
Yeah,
action.
live action.
Moana 2 is unbelievable. This Boost Godfather movie that you're also writing a book for is going to be awesome. Just TKO board of director of the board. I mean, hey, just know that as former athletes that we are, watching you as former athlete kind of navigate this world, you're an incredible inspiration to us. You're an eyebrow raising, trail blazing,
Blazing.
buku money making God that we're all watching. We appreciate the hell out of you, Moose.
Hey, I appreciate you. Love you, so thank you. And I'll see you soon. It's just a man.
Still got it. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Got some appreciation.
All right. So I think that interview was a big no yeet.
That was the biggest no yeet. I'm sorry to everybody who had to sit through some silence at some times. It's just that I'm just trying to absorb what's being said to me, and it's like I can't do it by myself. So I have to like navigate these things and just try to like find a thing to say about what The Rock is saying, but
Same.
I
Like
just- there's a guy, he's so high on his own fucking farts, man. I thought it was CM Punk that was the only person that partaked of that. But lately, judging from the way he's being booked, he's a pretty humble guy. But The Rock, man, holy shit. And Pat is like, is there something in there where you have to kiss the ass like all the live long day? What are we doing here?
well, maybe he's high on Rock's farts too. There's got to be
Something
it.
in that Papa Tui.
Papa Tui. Yeah. Papa Tui from Rock's Patootie. If you smell what he's cooking.
Right. So
That's the
whatever
fucking
you guys think, you can put that in there. If you like Papa Tui, what do you think about The Rock? What do you think about The Rock and rock-related things? I guess.
Rock has sold more in that segment on the Pat McAfee Show than he has sold on WWE TV in 5 years.
What do you mean, like his soul?
He's selling. He's trying to sell Papa Tui. He's trying to sell this movie. He's trying to sell this and that, and he's not in matches. He's not taking moves. He's not taking bumps. He's not selling in the ring. He's selling merch. He's selling product. He's selling tickets for the Elimination Chamber and not Mania. I think that's the big takeaway here.
What's
That's the
unfair to
takeaway.
me is that The Rock is not going to get a receipt from Cody. Like, he beat him at night one of WrestleMania. Cody hasn't gotten that win. And look, judging by The Rock's filming schedule, Cody's never going to get that. He's never going to get the return on The Rock. That's bullshit. And like, where was your thinking of where do we go from here with the bloodline? When you won that match, when you tagged with Roman and you pinned Cody Rhodes, pinned Cody Rhodes. You didn't have to pin Cody Rhodes. Roman could have pinned Cody, and it could have still been bloodline rules. But you had to pin Cody, and you didn't think about where that's going to go next. You didn't think about that. So, but now you're thinking about that. Okay, great.
But you know what? Maybe that's one of the things from last year that he'd be like, maybe there's a couple things that could have gone a little different, but it went the way it did, and ultimately the this, that, and the other, yada yada. Maybe that's one of those things that he theoretically might have done differently. In fact, I think it is because we just said. So of course he's going to agree. But I agree with you. There hasn't been a payoff. There should be a payoff. Will there be a payoff? I think the only way is he basically said the formula. If the fans don't buy the tickets to the pay-per-view, Rock will show up. So that's what we got to do.
I don't think that's fair. Like, I need to see the numbers. I want proof of what he's saying. He could just be saying that. And these people are so greedy. I kind of maybe believe it that Ari's like, hey, can you sell more tickets to this thing? I don't know. Have you ever tried making it a good card? Like what was wrong with Elimination Chamber? I thought it was okay. I thought it was one of the best pay-per-views.
I thought it was a really strong pay-per-view for a non-Big Five.
When you say stuff like that, you kind of bury the people in the back. You kind of bury Triple H a little bit. That not enough tickets were being sold, so they need The Rock. I don't believe you. I think you're a liar. I think you are. You're just a liar because you're Hollywood now. And that's what you guys do over there. You pretty it up with your flowery language, with synergy this and whatever the other shit was. I'm done shitting on The Rock. I'm sorry, Dwayne.
Yeah, that's not Rock. That's Dwayne.
You were the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them.
Listen, I guess Hollywood Dwayne took over.
I guess so. All right. Well, I think that's it for me. It's been an hour and a half.
Yep.
Of mostly listening to The Rock getting glazed by Pat McAfee. Hopefully this kid passed the censors over at YouTube. It's not too risque.
Yeah, shining up real nice, Pat. That being said, let us know what you thought of all that down below. What do you think about the stuff that Dwayne said? Selling tickets, this, that, and the other. Cena as heel and his decision to not be on Mania because of that. Let us know down below. Of course, don't forget, more than half of you are not subscribed, so do a solid. Hit that subscribe button down below. We're looking to get to 125. 125. Big number, 125. So do that for us. And as always, Basic Jared's got a party message.
The match of life is scheduled for one fall. So make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the bookers.